I was just chatting to someone else before, and we were talking about how it's quite interesting. I was saying, well, how do you know a carpenter is a carpenter? You know, what are they wearing? What are they holding? So it's when you think about a songwriter, you know, if you have a guitar in your hand for a good chunk of the day, you'll probably end up with something. It's interesting because you're saying there of when we find songs that we go, that's cool. It's like, why? Why is that? Well, that's happening because that's your voice as an artist, right? So if you listen to Gregory Alan Isakov, or you watch Robert De Niro, or whatever, that's a resonance, isn't it? There's some part of you is going, I appreciate the way that they are doing that. That resonates for me, you know? So in a way, then you take that and you go, that's a building block for something, you know, for me to create something of my own. And it's not like plagiarism. It's just resonance. Okay. It's a resonance. There's something in you that there's something in you that clicks with it, you know?
Really?
That's exactly it, Hugh. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to sit down and get that feeling. That's how you know it's sort of good enough.
Yeah.
That's your metric, you know? You know, you really get to know a song when you get from one end of it to the other. It's a different thing. You just got to do it. That's it. You know, it's a habit. It's just a habit. It's like, I used to say, people used to say, how are you? And I used to say like, all right, not bad, stuff like that. It's just a habit. And you're not really thinking about what you're saying, because if you really thought about it, you go, I mean, you know, I was born out of nothing into a realm of infinite possibility where anything can happen, good or bad, at any moment, you know? How am I doing in that? It's like, how can you not be like, it's amazing to be alive, you know? To get a chance to be here and just make stuff and be in the rain and eat food and, you know, meet people and all that.
That's right.
So it's like, it's a habit though, you know, and it's the same with like the habit of, what did you think of that then? I thought this, right? It's like as if there's anything there. There's nothing there. It doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's like, one of my favorite stories is Kevin Hart, the comedian, was driving between two movies that he was doing, and he was working on his new stand-up. And he's like just working all the time, and some woman stopped at the lights and she goes, hey, I saw your last movie, it wasn't funny. And he's just like, well, I'm trying, you know? I'm trying. It's like easiest thing ever to just say, I didn't like that, you know? That's easy.
Yeah. Anyone
can do that. The other thing is, if you want to be a songwriter, then, you know, you have to be curious about life. That's the point. That's all songwriting is like getting curious. Like the other night I was coming back from a gig and I was just standing, I've not done anything. I'm just actually thinking of it right now as I'm speaking with you. But I was just like standing in a taxi rank, right? And it was like all of humanity. It was Saturday night, about 12 at night. I was coming back from a gig. Everyone was steaming. And there was a guy, older guy called Alan, and his best mate and his best mate's wife, and they're all laughing. Alan's absolutely steaming. He can't speak to anyone. And he's trying to shake everyone's hand, and they're like, oh, what are you like, you know? And the moon's out, and then I look over, and there's a young girl, she must have been about 19, and she's bashed into this old guy, and he dropped his phone, and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry, what's your name? I'm Chloe, and shakes his hand. And then they go up to, she goes past this old guy and they go up to the next, there's a group of young lads and they're all, she's going, I'm Chloe, how do you do? Shaking all their hands. And I just thought, like, I was just watching it thinking, like, this is so great. This is just amazing, kind of.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was thinking about being 19 and how, like, you feel like you have your whole, well, you do have your whole, but you just feel like, you know, like, no one's ever done this. You know, you just think no one's ever done this. And she's like out there just introducing herself by name to everyone, you know, like it was like watching when a baby walks around going hi to everyone. It was like that kind of. But these are just the things you just, just noticing life and just noticing it.
Yeah,
something's happening. You know what I mean? Something real is happening here. That's what that is about. That song, or even just what I mentioned. That little story is like, oh, that's life is just happening all around us all the time. And the point of songwriting is to just, shine a little light on sometimes quite trivial moments.
Yeah.
Immortalizing the trivial moments. Like, there's a line in a new song I was working on called All the Way Back Home. And it's like the whole song's quite big and broad and universal. I've got a line that's like, it's almost like directive. You go, doesn't matter what you say, you're going to lose it anyway. It doesn't matter what you do. There's nothing you can take with you. So some of it's like that, but then the last verse, because the song's called All the Way Back Home, and the concept is we're all walking each other home, And so the very last line, last verse is, flowers at the bedside table, morning light comes through the window, don't you hold it, let it go. You take just a little specific moment. If you want to talk about death and how devastating and heartbreaking death is and grief is, you saying like, I'm so sad because of death is never going to beat a little detail in a hospital room. Is going to give you the feeling more. So it's like, I don't know what that little story with Chloe is yet, but there's something. And honestly, that's exactly right, because she went up to it was like, there was a group of lads where I was like, I'm staying fucking away from them. They're going to pagger me. She was right up to them. All right, lads, cuddling them. I'm Chloe and blah, blah, blah. And then she was put, when their Uber arrived, right? And she was young, attractive girl. So I think they all probably fancied her, right? But she was just going, right then, lads, off you go. Have a good night. And they're getting in the Uber and she goes, right, arms in, legs in, and then bang, closes the door, right? And you go, why is she doing that? Why is she just, but isn't it like, imagine nobody was ever, how sort of dull the world would be. So it's like,
that's right. Yeah,
it's like, it just takes, there's a great saying that's like, all that's missing is what you're not giving, And she was like a good example of that, that kind of thing. And so sometimes it can be just that, just like us noticing. Most of my songs, I'm just trying to say something that I've noticed about someone. I mean, it's always about people, isn't it? When's a song not about people? You don't know. The one that I got, the one that I had that I didn't even think about in People Come, People Go was, if her daddy's gone, I'd tell her it gets harder. And the amount of people I've had tell me that line floored them. And I just was saying, because I just was thinking, what's she crying about? And like what, it just came from that. It wasn't like, it was just what I thought, That song is maybe one of the ones I'm proudest of in terms of like lyrics. Even though it's very simple, it's not like a super lyrical song, or it's not fancy, but it is one where I'm like, that was really good, that feels really good. I feel like there's no fat on it. I feel like it's a really,
not at all.
it's just really clean, So the song's about my daughter. She runs through this world. She's the rain to the sea. That's what it's like being with her. But listen, this is what I'm saying is like, give yourself permission. Say it like you see it, and like you feel it. not like what you think a songwriter should say, or not like what you think it should be. Just, it's almost, if you sit down to have a conversation with someone and you feel like, how am I even going to describe this thing I'm thinking? That's what songwriting is. And then when you can get to like, if you need to say, the moon is like aching tonight, because that's the only way that you can describe what it actually feels like for you, it will be good. But if you say, but equally, if you say the moon is aching because you think it sounds clever, it won't be good, it won't work.